There's no use in me using the peace greeting in this case because this is not a peaceful message. This one is going to be directed not at those who support Kamala under the same conditions for which they would have supported Barack Obama or did support Barack Obama. This is not addressed at those who are consistent. This is not even addressed against Kamala Harris, to be honest with you. I don't know the accuracies of the rumors about her prosecutorial records. I've heard various things. There's one white guy I heard on a video give a very balanced take and said that she did these things that were good and did these things that were bad. And he gave names of those who she let sit on death row and in prison for life by opposing genetic testing that could have exonerated them. There are others that have said I was part of a program and my life is better for it, and I actually wasn't just locked up and the key thrown away. And I've heard different things, so that's an argument that's not going to be finished. Whichever position I would have taken, I would be corrected in the comment section because I don't know a whole lot yet. Some of her own opponents have said, well, one of her own opponents has actually said she was actually a progressive prosecutor, to be honest. This is opposing counsel that has said this. So this is not really a personal attack on Kamala, except for one thing. But this is going to be addressed to those of you that in your minds, consciously, Barack Obama had to be married to an African-American woman to get your support back in 2008. And fast forward to today, Kamala Harris has your support and she ain't married to a black man. Specifically, that type of hypocrite is the one I'm addressing today. And I've always said, I don't know what the percentage is of the wicked witches of the West that the Western female population makes up. I'm not sure. Are the wicked witches 23%? Are they 93%? I don't really know. I've always said that there are bound to be those that are not wicked witches of the West. However, they are silenced. But this is going to give us some clue. We're going to have a little bit of data after this election. But any sister, so-called sister, that demanded that Barack Obama be married to a black woman in order to win the presidency and win the black female vote, and now wants the black female vote to get behind Kamala Harris, you're the ones I'm going in on this one. Number one, we black men have a right to have double standards about who you screw and who you don't, and you don't have the right to those double standards. In other words, we can have them on our end, you can't have them on yours. And one of the reasons I've said this is because, remember, when it comes to within our race, you have options we don't. You're the ones doing the excluding, we're not. And you can exclude who you want. You should have standards, we should have standards. But we're being told not to have standards. And you can have standards that are darn near unreasonable, and you're cheered for them and lauded for them. We can have standards that are reasonable, and we can't be cheered for that. Reasonable standards for us are considered unreasonable and unrealistic. She not be obese. She wear her own hair. Even if she perms it, just she wears her hair. Whether it's locks, natural, perm, her hair, and it be clean. You know, stuff we have to do, like not be obese and wear our own hair and it be clean and things like that. She has to meet the same standards that she has for us to meet, or meet another standard in its place, and we're unrealistic. I mean, Obsidian was told to stay in his lane and deal with average-looking women. But the average-looking black man already meets standards that the average black woman does not meet because she does not want to. The average black woman has some measure of obesity. And I myself, I'm tired of it. I'll just be honest. I'm sick of when I'm in the States, when I do get hit up. I'm tired of them usually being just entirely too big. And no booty at that. tired of it. And you know, not every sister is obese, but I'm going to tell y'all straight like this. There was a point past which if they weren't, they would not shoot their shot. And I don't want to hear, well, it's because they don't have to shoot their shot because people are shooting shots at them. I don't want to hear that. Because they were shooting shots at other cats. It is simply put, in the West in general, this is a problem. In the Black West, it's probably even more exaggerated. The other thing I want you to keep in mind, though, ladies, those of you that are into this hypocrisy, is that when you step out of the race, all of a sudden you don't have options and we do. No wonder brothers are stepping out now. As much as I don't advocate any of us going specifically for white folk to be with, when we step out the race, we got options and you don't. We step out the race and they will marry us and they'll stay with us about as much as they'll stay with other men. White women are more likely to leave, to be honest with you. But other races of women will stay with us about as much as they'll stay with other men of other races in the same environments. We haven't heard, we don't even hear rumors that the Filipina's going to leave you, but she would have stuck with a white dude. Actually, that's the reverse. Brothers, you want to have a better shot than a white dude does? Southeast Asia is it. You got a better chance there with one of them ladies liking you and staying with you than a white guy would have in the same area. Believe that. I know all the white cats I know that were Southeast Asian women, they got used. Straight like that. All the brothers I know that were Southeast Asian women, they ain't complaining about this. And mind you, an Arab cat from here, a Gulf Arab, used to be my boss, married a Filipina lady. And when he went to the Philippines, and her family was cool with him, they were like, look, you treating our daughter good, we're going to treat you good. So her family gave the two of them a condo in the Philippines. And it's in his name and her name. Let me tell y'all what happened. That man said to me, listen, Black, when I was there in the condo, I saw all these black men with Filipino women, and both of them will be smiling. What's going on? And I just told him. I just had to tell him, bro, were these like black American men or from the continent or from everywhere? He said, I think from everywhere. I guess they were from all over. A lot of them I couldn't tell. And I just said, you know, what's going on is that when it comes to the ones from Africa, I don't really know. Depends on what part of Africa. But in the West, black women are driving us away. The hypocrisy, the obesity, the lying, the cheating, the paternity fraud, but worse than these, the justifications for these things and blaming us for stuff that we ain't even done is driving us away. We got a contentious relationship and they pushing us away. And we're just like, you know what? We start looking at women of other races and guess who treats us the nicest? The Southeast Asian. Matter of fact, the Southeast Asian woman likes us more than she likes the white dude on average. And it's a great match. We like them, they like us. We treat each other well. And we treat them well, they appreciate it. They treat us well, we appreciate it. It's a great recipe. You treat a sister well in the West, she thinks you're weak. She wants to know what's wrong with you. She treats you well, she's only doing it because she's overweight or she got a bunch of other men's kids. Otherwise, she wouldn't do it. That's what's going on with us. So that being said, I'm letting y'all know when you step out, you don't have these same options. I'm not saying no man of any other race would give you a chance. What I am saying is that you don't have the same options you got with brothers. You just don't. And I think that for a lot of sisters, you're willing to settle for worst options. As a matter of fact, some of them on the West Coast have even said they'll take certain things in non-black men they would never tolerate in a black man. White guy can have his fingernails painted. That's cool. But a brother got to be ultra masculine, macho, and scaring everybody. I mean, he damn near got to be a gorilla. Thumping his chest, growling and shit. And the funny thing is that an actual real gorilla in the wild is not aggressive like that until you provoke them. But you know, he gotta be aggressive for nothing, barking and growling at people and shit. I mean, fit the guck out my face with that mess. So anyway, I'm gonna say it again. Within the race, it's black men that don't have the options that we deserve. Without the race, We got options, and you don't get the options you deserve. So now for me to sit up here and see that some same sisters who are against interracial marriage and dating, or at least when a black man does it, or they're only against it when it's black and white, which I tend to be against too, are now going to give Kamala Harris a pass. But her husband is white. He ain't Latin American. He ain't Arab. He white. That's what it is. Now, I can look at her kids and tell they got black blood in them. I don't know if white folks can look into it. I think they could too. Most Arabs will consider the kids to be white though. But this hypocrisy is what's running brothers off. And no, I'm not saying this because I hate her per se. I'm not saying this because I think her prosecutorial record was Uncle Tomish or Sambo-ish. I don't know. Seems to be mixed. Back and forth, like she ain't know what she want to do. What I am saying is that for you to support her, if you would not have supported Barack Obama under the same circumstances, makes you a damn hypocrite. And there are a lot of you out there that are like that, and you're the ones I'm going in on. I don't know how much of the population you take up, you hypocrites, but we're going to find some clues in the next election. I'm already getting some ideas just from scrolling down Facebook and seeing it. Oh, get behind Kamala. I'm seeing brothers and sisters say stuff like this. And I tell some of these brothers, I mean, there's one guy saying this stuff, but I wasn't black enough growing up, and we actually fist fought over this. I saw it on his Facebook feed, but I don't want to talk to this nigga. He and I are never going to be friends, ever. We fought when I was 17, the last time. First time we traded blows was in middle school. We're never going to be friends, ever. Because at this point, in order for him to prove that he's brave, he has to go start a fight with someone bigger than him. But then he has to be immature. So then he's not a man because he's immature. But in order for him to keep his maturity, he has to remain in that cowardly role, never having started a fight with someone bigger than him. Or even his own size. He's never done it. So to me, he's either a coward or he's an immature bastard. He'll never be a man to me. So we ain't gonna be friends. Yet and still, this dude that I fought with because he want to say stuff about me not being black enough and actually mistreat me because of it, is now sitting up saying, get behind Kamala. And yes, he's in a no-win situation, because if he was consistent now with what he was back then, at least he'd be consistent, but then I would make fun of him for being immature. So no, I mean, he's not going to win in my eyes. We enemies, period. Why is that? Because it's too damn late. He should have grown the fuck back then. And that's what I'm saying to a lot of ladies now. I don't want to hear how your opinions have evolved. They haven't evolved based on new information. If you're saying that Barack had to be married to a Michelle, but Kamala can marry anybody, it ain't because your opinion has evolved or because you know more information now than you did back then. It's because you're a goddamn hypocrite. Because you believe that black men are your property, but you free. That's why. Because you believe that the white man is better than the black man, and that's not an opinion I need to forgive you for. That's not an opinion I need to respect. I never sat up and said that other races of women are intrinsically better than you. I've always said that you gave them superior positions by treating us worse, while they treat us so much better. That is what I've always said. Always, always, always. They don't start off better than you. You have what it takes to blow the competition out the water. You got what it takes to hit home runs to the moon back to back. Physically and culturally. If you choose to follow particular black cultures that are found back home. But psychologically and therefore culturally in the West, you don't have it. Because you refuse to have it. You look down on the women that would put any of these things in practice. And now some of you are sitting up and saying, black girl magic, Kamala Harris, get behind her. 2020, Biden and Harris. No, not if you were saying that Barack Obama got my vote because he's married to his sister. He ain't a descendant of slaves, but look at his wife. Let me tell you what she said about him on stage. Y'all know. She sat on stage with Oprah and downplayed what it was like being married to him. Like, I still got to tell him certain things. Yeah, well, everybody does. My mother's had to tell my dad certain things, but my dad has also had to tell my mother certain things. And my mother understood if my dad's supposed to listen, she damn well better listen. Because if she loses respect for my dad, he's out. And my dad once cracked a joke. It was 2019 when I visited the U.S. for a short spell. My dad cracked a joke, said to me, "Hey, Black, you know your mom just, now I'm an old man, your mom just beating up on me, always telling me what to do, bossing me around. I just go along with it. Yasm boss." And I knew he was joking. I cracked up. I said, "Yeah, okay, Dad. If that was really the case, she would have been left." And my mother nodded her head again. I was like, "Oh, so my mother admits it." But what do I expect? She's honest about it. But she looks up to my dad and respects him because he does take care of responsibility, but he takes no crap. He's like the silverback. You ain't gonna run nothing, but he's gonna take responsibility too. That's in that regard. He's like, the lion with the mane. He'll patrol the territory. And he'll actually help hunt at night when he's not as visible. But in the daytime, you don't come bothering him about, "Help me take down this buffalo." He's like, "Man, that buffalo will see me coming a mile away." Nope, y'all got that. Or you wait till nighttime. Because see, people don't know, male lions actually do help hunt usually at night. Sometimes they help hunt in the day. People don't understand this. But, the females may not want the male lions to help hunt in the daytime. Because they're supposed to be out there patrolling that territory. And that's what people fail to understand. Well, we don't understand a lot of times. And see, my father was a good role model in this regard. Certain things he didn't explain, but he showed. And so it took confusion for me to ever have any game run on me. Ladies couldn't just make me think I deserve it and therefore I'm going to take it. No, it had to be confusion and actual game for them to run any game on me. They had to actually outsmart me, keep things from me. And that's what the bulk of women have been doing with the bulk of men, not just worldwide, but in the West even more so by lying, not just by secrecy, but by lying. And now what we're seeing is this has made its way all the way into the U.S. federal election, that pattern. Absolutely not. Under no circumstances are they going to, the masses of sisters, going to give a black candidate the same unconditional support they're about to give Kamala Harris. How many of them this is what's open for debate right now. But we'll get a little bit of a clue at when the election happens, when the polls close. Then we'll find out. But I'm going to tell y'all straight like this. Straight up. Brothers, it really doesn't matter. Politics is something we can understand sisters getting into. In our case, it doesn't make a difference. No matter who has been in office, it has been the same hierarchy. And I think that it is search for Uhuru, Dynasty Mir was actually right about something. An exit strategy should be more important to us than the elections. I really believe that. We need to start thinking about getting a way to get back home. And for some of us, it may not be the continent. But we need to find a way to go somewhere else. That's really what we need to be doing. Because in all honesty, the election is always going to be a sham. It ain't going to work for us. The political process is something that's worthy of monitoring, but it is not worthy of us worrying about. Let them have this. We've been disenfranchised in so many numbers anyway, and they're playing games to make it harder to vote, especially if you live in largely Democratic, meaning minority areas. They're not playing games with us. Not in the least bit. So our best bet is to just go ahead and start focusing on extra strategies. With education, credentials, and skill sets are going to be better for us in countries that we like. I would say let's go ahead and corner the ESL market. I would say so, but I'm afraid that what many people will do is they'll start to say, well, with online teaching now, you can stay where you are, and we're not going to get you a ticket to come here. So I think it's okay to have that as a credential, but we're going to need to look for some other things too. Coding, maybe, even though that can be done remotely from what I hear. There are different skill sets, and I would just say check these job ads in the countries that you might like to visit when you're young and see what skill sets they need the most and look into those. But we need to start formulating exit strategies. That's more important to us than the elections, because whosoever does get elected knows that they better not upset the hierarchy. They know they better not do that. That's how you get shot in the head. Kennedy was trying that. And it wasn't specifically for black folk, and you saw what happened to him. So, Kamala can't go into the White House talking about reparations and for black people and black people only and black people exclusively. They'll shoot her in the head if she'd got that far. Barack could not have done so. Biden and Sanders, same thing. Nobody's allowed to do that. The U.S. can, they just simply won't, because of the actual fear that we might be wise enough to know how to spend our money, and they would not get it back, except by a lot of hard work and pulling themselves up by their bootstraps. They understand they could very well wind up being labor and not in the boardrooms, now having to do a lot more labor for less instead of sitting back while somebody labors for them to have more. They understand that actually, you know what, we ain't as bad off as we might think that we are. So that being said, no, man, get that exit strategy going. In the meantime, spend money with each other. Black men, I'm not saying you boycott black female-owned businesses, not at all. Go ahead and support them too. But black men, start looking for black heterosexual male-owned businesses, especially the ones run by the intellectuals that the Pookies would look down on and call lames, especially them. Start with them. Focus on them. Don't boycott black female-owned businesses. Just prioritize the ones that are owned by black heterosexual male so-called lames. If Pookie thinks that nigga's a lame, find out if he owns a business and try to support it. And if you can't, advertise it. That's what we need to be doing. So, and Glendon Cameron pointed out something. He said, if you're a black business owner, do you want black business or do you want all business? Of course, naturally, we'd like all business. But we should advertise and prioritize each other when it comes to spending. And another thing too, don't ask for hookups and discounts unless you're buying in bulk. That's legitimate then, it's understood in business. But outside of that, no, don't go in there. What y'all got for free? What do you mean we got for free? We a business. And it's one thing to say, do you have anything on sale now in general? But, this whole hookup, discount, free, man, man, look, man, we went to the same school or something like that. Shut the shuck up and pay the damn price. Just go ahead and do it. So that being said, hopefully one day will come and we won't even have to worry about. Hopefully, I'm looking forward to a day in which the bulk of us are either settled in two places or we're settled somewhere else. And we could look at the election and say, whoever the hell they elect, we're going to pay and pool our resources to run a negative smear campaign against if they act against our interest. Doesn't matter who wins. I'm looking forward to the day that we're sort of like AIPAC in that regard, American Israel Public Action Committee, a lobby that makes sure that no matter who's in office, you support Israel against Palestine. I hope that one day all I've said won't be true or necessary anymore, but in the meantime, until it is, I hope that it helps. Thank you for listening. And to you hypocrites, may Allah curse you. Black heart, black mind, blackout, and black heterosexual male power with double standards just because they don't like it.